So D23 comes to Brazil, and we're going to talk about that and more on today's episode of the Geek Watch Podcast.
This is the Geek Watch Podcast with Brian Hatcher and Mandy Petrie.
Greetings, Geek Watchers, and welcome to episode 245 of the Geek Watch Podcast. I'm Brian Hatcher, and with me, as always, Geek Watch's very own resident geek goddess, Mandy Petrie.
Hello, Brian.
So I want to start out today's show with a little bit of news. You may have heard about this. I don't know, but
I wonder if it's what I'm thinking it is. If it is, it's hilarious to me.
Oh, well, it's about Wicked and Mattel.
Oh, no, it's not. Oh, wait, yes, I did. I sure did.
Yes, I did want to talk to you about this. So basically what happened was Mattel decided, hey, wouldn't it be great if we did Barbie dolls based off of the new movie, which was great.
It is great. They're beautiful. I've seen them.
You probably saw them for a minute because they got pulled from stores. And the reason they got pulled from stores was because they also had this wonderful idea that perhaps they should put a QR code for the website for the movie, which of course is wickedmovie.com. Unfortunately, they didn't post the URL for wickedmovie.com. They posted for wicked.com, which is something else completely different. We're not going to say the P word, but it involves the P word.
Yep. But oddly enough, this is not the first time Barbie has had something similar happen. When Barbie first had a Barbie that would say something, like you pushed a button and she would have a phrase like, I love going to the library. Apparently, you would push a button and she would say something off color or that maybe had got the recording wrong and would say a word that perhaps the children weren't ready to hear or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do know there was some controversy over a Barbie doll that said math is hard.
Yeah, I remember that too, yes. Mm-hmm.
And I do remember another talking doll that this may be apocryphal, but it's a good enough story to repeat, even if it isn't true.
Urban legends.
An urban legend. But there was a talking doll that was a Spanish-speaking talking doll that was sent to America instead. How the story goes is that the doll said, "We love mommy" in Spanish, which supposedly the Spanish phrase that it said was "kill our mommy." Which, if you're expecting English, seems to say "kill our mommy." People panicked, as you can imagine. Why does my kid have a doll saying "kill our mommy"?
Yep.
You said you saw some of these dolls. You said
yes. I saw them in Walmart. They were gorgeous and beautiful.
And if you would have thought to buy them, you'd be, well, not independently wealthy, but you would have some.
Yeah.
You would definitely have some collector's items that people are paying hundreds of dollars for. For the people who wound up buying those dolls before they were pulled off the shelves, you either have a very inexpensive collector's item that you can make some money off of, or some traumatized children.
Or both.
Or little column A, little column B.
Little column A, if you wanted the collector's item where you would have never taken it out of the box, or you had a child that immediately ripped it out of the box and then you threw the box away.
Yeah, maybe that happened. Hopefully nobody scanned the QR code that wasn't expecting that. Right. Because, well, it is movies, and sometimes it involves two women, but not what we were in the market for. Thank you.
No, that Rule 34, it does exist, but...
yeah, it does. It certainly does. But let's talk about D23 in Brazil. I had forgotten that they were doing D23. Usually they do like to post some interesting stuff, and they did post a couple of new trailers, and after D23, they posted an additional trailer, which I found out you don't know anything about.
I don't.
So normally what I've done is when you come in and I'll show it to you right quick so we can watch it.
Then we can talk about it, yes.
Then we can talk about it. And I thought it would be interesting. Let's try this out. I'm going to play them for you live, and you can watch them so we can get your reaction.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull out the iPad for this.
See, this would be something we'd see on like a YouTube channel, and so you could see someone's reactions, audio reactions. This will be.
Yeah, we're going to see how this works.
Yeah.
The first one is the trailer for Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Or the Starby. They're still trying to figure out what that is, but I'm going to let you take a look at this, and we will.
Orange
first of all,
Hue already looking very tank girl, like it.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
I'm hitting the little triangle.
Oh, America's so big. You ever drive through Oklahoma? It's so flat.
Where did they get that ancient
You got a convoy approaching fast. Step on it.
Red Guardian limousine?
Come on, baby.
Okay, a bit faster, please.
Lexi. Okay, don't worry. Engaging defensive measures.
Oh, it's even got the music to match
Yep.
the car.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we've got Ghost, U.S. Agent, Black Widow. Bucky.
Is that?
It's a Winter Soldier. That guy is so cool.
Oh, that's very Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
That reverse wheelie.
Yep.
That's what I talk about.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
So this is just an homage to 1990s.
Yeah. Oh,
Easy is
check
it
this
to
out.
think of all the monumental fights that happened exactly here where you're standing. I mean, the place wasn't cheap, but it's got good optics. Look at you. You are all so adorable.
Eat shit, Valentina. The assignment is... Oh, wait,
Is
hang
that
on.
gerbil? A guinea pig?
Assignment is complete.
What kind of super serum did you get?
I don't know, regular. Hydra.
Hydra. Oh, fancy.
Who is this old Santa?
The Red Guardian.
What?
We get it. That's it.
Everyone here has done bad things. Shadow ops. Contract kills.
And you, former Red Room assassin. God only knows the blood on your hands.
Pretty ludicrous coming from the dime store Captain America.
I'll have you know, I was actually the official Captain America, so.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds.
It's getting so tense in here.
Who are you?
I'm Bob.
We're just drifting. And we don't have purpose. You can't escape the past.
So you can either do something about it now, or live with it forever.
So what, we all just punch and shoot?
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
Thank God.
The Thunderbolts. It's a cool name.
Work in progress.
Yeah, asterisks. That's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's ask the question. First trailer, what'd you think?
It looks like everything we want, what we're expecting out of the Thunderbolts movie. That whole opening homage is just every 1990s action star movie. We expect Jean-Claude Van Damme, Arnold to pop out of somewhere. Every shotgun, every minigun, grenade launcher we'd expect. It looks fantastic. And that classic scene, bring them all back to Avengers Tower. And we've got the call to adventure. We've got the impossible, that only the impossibles can get it done. And yeah, I'm excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, the trailer does answer the question everybody's been asking, which is who bought Avengers Tower? So now we know. A lot of people thought there was going to be the Fantastic Four.
Well, I didn't think that because everything has been pointing to that Fantastic Four is going to be a period piece.
Yeah.
I don't see them in our present day.
Well, I have a feeling they're going to, in some way, fast forward. They're going to start out in the 60s, but they're going to wind up in our time. That's my assumption.
Okay.
There's nothing I've read that said that, but I would assume that's where they're going to go with it.
Okay.
But, I mean, for the longest time, from back in the, like, Spider-Man 2, they thought that when they sold Avengers Tower, that
Right.
it was going to be the Fantastic Four who bought it. But the other thing I thought was hilarious is, of course, you had all the hero scrolls of everybody who was popping up, and then they say, and Bob, which is hilarious because they're really underplaying who that is. This was the character Stephen Yeun was going to play, and he had to leave.
Oh,
But it's a superhero by the name of Sentry,
okay.
who's basically Marvel's Superman.
Oh,
And in case you haven't read the comics, I don't want to go into too much spoiler, but one of the most devastating supervillains is in his coterie, shall we say. And it's a very interesting story, we'll say. And we'll see what happens with that character. But yeah, the fact they really underplayed him because, again, like I said, he's like a Superman type character.
okay.
He's easily going to be the most powerful superhero in that group. And of course, they introduce him with, and Bob.
And Bob. But and I like that they hit all the stereotypes and playing up the jokes is like, who's this Santa? And like, yeah, he was Santa and Dime Store, Captain America, and we all made those jokes, of course. And
Oh, yeah.
it's great that they're playing up these jokes that we've all made.
Well, in a real sense, the Thunderbolts are Marvel's answer to the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
And of course, we had James Gunn, who brought us Guardians of the Galaxy, who then brought us probably the best version of Suicide Squad for DC. That's going to be a tough act to follow.
Yep.
But I guess we'll find out how well they do. So now we're going to do trailer number 2,
Okay.
which is Captain America Brave New World. This is the official trailer. Let's go ahead and
Okay.
have you take a look at that.
Right.
You asked for me. Here I am.
And of course, we've already had this set up from the first trailer.
Is there anything you remember?
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Thaddeus Ross.
Oh, did we go Manchurian Candidate here?
Yeah, that was from
Okay.
the first trailer.
Be careful.
This February.
What do we know?
There were 5 shooters. This was a coordinated terrorist attack, sir.
I was a wartime general. Now I'm a wartime president. Your inner circle's been compromised. Let me fix it. Watch yourself. You're not Steve Rogers. You're right. I'm not.
Doesn't matter what Harrison Ford plays, he's always Harrison Ford.
Oh, yeah.
Wait for it.
The sonic boom.
We're on the brink of war. I can't trust anyone. Nothing about this feels right. Captain America. You ever ask yourself, who's playing who? Someone's been pulling the strings on everything.
You're under arrest?
I don't want a variable out there that I can't control.
Stop!
Captain America, caught without his wings. You like to play dress up and blindly execute the state's orders.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
What if this is a trap? You don't even know what this is.
Since when were they red?
You want me? Come and get me!
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now here's the question. As you said during the trailer, it's like Harrison Ford, whoever he plays, he's Harrison
He's
Ford.
Harrison Ford, yeah.
So when he's big, muscular, and red, is he still
He's
Harrison?
still Harrison Ford. Yeah.
He's Harrison Ford, absolutely. But they've been prompting us that they're going to give us Red Hulk. So I'm definitely been looking forward to that for a while. Now,
Right.
I don't know if you recognize the voice on the phone.
No.
You'd have to have seen the first Incredible Hulk to remember that voice.
Like Eric Bana. Sorry, not Eric Bana, way back, Liv Tyler.
Edward Norton, from that. This was the guy who tried to cure him and wound up absorbing a bunch of radiation and his head grew. A classic Hulk villain known as the Leader, where the Hulk was all brawn, the Leader was brains. So there's this idea that he's behind a lot of this stuff. Of what's going on. Of course, we saw Sidewinder in this trailer. And of course, we remember the old Captain America from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And apparently something had happened where he and 4 other people were sleeper agents.
Right.
So
they've been conditioned.
Yes, for sure. But that's about all that we know, except that they're really trying to go back to that second Captain America, all the spy, all the espionage, all the political intrigue. They're really trying to bring that back into the Captain America series, which, absolutely, I'm down for that. And looking forward to that. And that's going to be in February. Now, some people are worried about the February release because traditionally February is where movie studios drop movies they're not that convinced about.
Well,
Then again, February 14th was when we got Deadpool. So, the rules are changing. And, during the cold of winter, we might have a really nice warm movie to cuddle up to.
Yes.
Now, those were the 2 trailers that they showed at D23. And they held one back to release it this week. And this is that trailer.
Okay. What if?
Season 3, the final season. The White Vision. And Riri.
Let's begin. Up for an adventure?
Always.
To understand, you must learn to see.
What exactly are you proposing?
It's showtime.
Here we go!
Howard, are you sure you can fly this?
Are you kidding? I'm a duck. I was born to fly. Strap in.
Oh, move over.
Dormammu.
If we all go down, the world will be
Moon
left
Knight.
defenseless.
This is the shot we have. We may not get another one.
Bunch
Let's
of Moon
finish
Knights.
it.
Oh, we're good to go.
Avenger, assemble.
Is that an Avenger Gundam?
Yes. Power Rangers, baby. Shang-Chi in a Western.
Light him up now.
This is where your story ends. With some mysteries, the only answer is what if.
Soon.
Maybe it's time that we called in some help. I am Storm, Voice of Thunder.
Wow. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course Storm could wield Mjolnir.
Yeah.
She's the mistress of the elements. Of course she could have the Hammer of Thunder. That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I believe it is canon in the comics that there was a time she picked up Mjolnir and wielded and had the power of Thor and her own as well. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. But I like how they're really dipping into the TV side of things because we get Moon Knight. We got Agatha Harkness in there in the big white. They are leaning more into the television stuff. And yes, we get Mighty Morphin Avenger Rangers. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And the way they're setting it up, of course, they're going to start it on the 22nd. And they did this last year where they showed one a day.
Okay.
So there'll be one on the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th until we get our 8 episodes. And this is going to be the end of it. But it's about all that we really know. There's a lot of rumors, which I have been avoiding because I don't want spoilers. But White Vision is in there. We're going to see White Vision before we see Vision Quest. So that's going to be setting up for that. I am going to miss the hell out of What If.
Yeah.
What I love about this show is that it really allowed you to be experimental. I mean,
yeah.
It's like you don't have to worry about canon. You can introduce new characters. You can have fun. And at the very least,
You can get obscure.
yeah, it's the one show where you're allowed to really jump the shark. You're allowed to do that. Later on next year, we get Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a full series of it. So it's introducing a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely looking forward to What If, and I'm curious to see how they end it all, because again, this is going to be the third and the last season.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be getting that. We'll be getting the Christmas episode of Doctor Who, which again, trying to avoid spoilers from, but apparently they're really going to stretch the idea of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. The name of the episode is going to be Joy to the World, written by Stephen Moffat, and apparently it's a hotel outside of time.
Okay.
You're in this hotel. There's all kinds of different times.
Very Douglas Adams.
Yeah, very Douglas Adams. You never have to worry about a room not being rented because eventually you will rent it. You know, it's like, well, we didn't
Like
rent
your reservation at the restaurant at the end
into
of
the universe.
Yeah.
So it's like all the rooms are filled because if there's not a room available, well, we didn't rent this room 20 years ago, so you can have this room, but 20 years ago.
Okay.
Which I guess explains the doctor trying to find who had a ham and cheese toastie and a pumpkin latte. But again, that's about all that I know about the episode coming up, but that's going to be in December. And I have been hearing all this great stuff about Nosferatu. It's an Eggers film. They said it's as beautiful as you expect an Eggers film to be. It's going to be as beautiful and as grotesque as you can imagine. And sometime next week, I shall have the soundtrack for it on vinyl.
On vinyl?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's actually going to be a double dip for the vinyl fans out there. They're going to be releasing 2 different Nosferatu soundtracks, one for the movie and one from Christopher Young, who is known for great horror soundtracks like Hellraiser. He did the music for the Hellraiser movies, or the ones that were good, we'll just say.
Oh, okay.
He did his version of a soundtrack for the original silent film that's coming out on vinyl. And
Okay.
I do have the original silent film on DVD.
So you can play them together.
Yeah, so I have this urge to basically turn the sound off from the silent film, which is like, well, there's sound on the silent film? Well, the music.
Yeah.
And playing the
It was
vinyl.
usually a jaunty piano music, whatever the piano player in the town could play.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much like playing Wizard of Oz and
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon, except that was intended.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. And of course, I'm looking forward to Wicked. Something that I found on social media, a meme that somebody said, hey, look, if you're going to see Wicked because you want to see this great musical and listen to this great music, please understand if you're not a theater kid, the first week isn't for you. And it's because you're not going to get to listen to this music. But
it's going to be a sing-along.
People are going to sing along with it. And if that bothers you, maybe wait.
Yeah, we don't even need the lyrics on the screen.
We've heard this before. We have the soundtrack. We know. But there are a couple of things. Number one, I do have Amazon Prime because, of course, I do. And Amazon Prime, they have a special showing of Wicked that's an earlier showing. If you have Amazon Prime, you can go on their website. And if a theater in your area is participating, you can actually buy tickets a day early and see it a day early. And one of our theaters here in Charleston is, in fact, doing that.
Really?
So the other thing people have been asking about is, okay, I know how long the musical is, and I know that the movie is going to be the first half. It's going to end at the intermission with Defying Gravity. We all know this. So why is the first half of the movie longer than
The entire show?
the entire show on stage? I'm sure some things are getting added. We've already mentioned before that none of the musical pieces have been cut at all. So
They've added verses. I don't know. I have no idea.
well, there may be some
Extended dance numbers.
possibly, or they're going to develop the scenes a little bit longer. Because if you're familiar with One Short Day, when they first go to Oz, what's really difficult about the beginning of that song is it's one of the fastest costume changes in Broadway.
Uh-huh.
Glinda has to get into this yellow dress. And so they literally have seconds to completely change their costumes. With a movie, they're going to Oz in the train. So obviously that's going to take a little bit of time. And of course, it's going to be nice that they're not going to have to do this crazy costume change.
Right.
The other thing that I saw that I just loved, for fans of Wicked who also keep up with the Tonys, something that kind of stings a little bit is that when Wicked was up for the Tony, they lost to Avenue Q.
Oh.
Avenue Q got the Tony for the best musical.
Wow.
I've seen both shows live. I'm a big fan of both shows. I have the soundtracks to both shows. But if you like Wicked, and maybe you're not the biggest fan of Avenue Q, you might have found that to sting a little bit. I saw a clip of an interview that our leads were doing, and they were being interviewed by someone who, it turns out, she was one of the original Broadway players in Avenue Q. And they were overjoyed. They just fangirled out. It's like, oh my God, there you are. I can't believe this. Please tell me you're not lying. Please tell me you're not lying. So it was an absolute love fest, which I thought was amazing. But yeah, they both, Elphaba and Galinda, fangirled over being interviewed by someone who was in the original Broadway cast for Avenue Q. It had the same energy and joy of when Tom Holland was doing interviews. It was he and Zendaya. And I'm trying to remember who played Ned. My apologies. I can't remember the actor's name right at the moment. But they were
the Watch Mojo girl?
Yes,
I love that. Oh, that's one of my favorite clips ever. Oh,
where they completely oh my God, I love that. Because I do.
They're like, say,
please do the opening, please. Tom Holland's like, can you do the opening for us, please? She goes, welcome to Watch Mojo, and they
just freak out. It's the cutest thing ever. That's one of my favorite clips ever. I love it.
And one of the best parts of it is, I guess Zendaya wasn't that familiar, and watching her just watch them freak out. She's like, oh, this is so cute.
Adorable. And I have loved watching Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth being there because I don't know, probably rarely gets to happen for the original Broadway stars to be at the movie premiere. Maybe for Rent, I think, because the original stars did star in the movie Rent. Right. I don't think like the original Phantom of the Opera was at the premiere or anything like that, or any of the original Cats stars were. So that's been really, and they're just as gorgeous as they always were. And I have no doubt that they could pick up right where they left off and sing right along with them.
Oh, no question. And they had wanted to do that, but the movie was in development hell for so long. And then when they were getting ready to greenlight it and they hadn't cast it, then COVID hits. And they were afraid it was never going to get out of development hell, but they persevered. They've continued, and now we're going to get the first half of it this year and then the second half next year. But as far as what we're going to be seeing in the next month and a half with Wicked, with Nosferatu, I guess we will see.
We shall see.
And with that said, we come to the end of episode 235. Thank you for listening, and tune in next time for the latest in geek news and views with the Geek Watch podcast. From Mandy Petrie, this is Brian Hatcher, reminding all the Geek Watchers out there, we're all geeky about something. Be proud of yours. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Geek Watch podcast. If you enjoyed this program, don't forget to like and subscribe on your preferred platform and share this podcast on your social media. For links to all the ways you can listen to the Geek Watch podcast, as well as leave comments and suggestions, visit our website at geekwatch.net. The Geek Watch podcast is a Hanging J production.